If you're drinking cranberry juice every morning because someone told you it cleanses your kidneys, I need you to hear this. Not because it does nothing, because for some of you watching right now, especially those of you who already have kidney disease, or who are diabetic, or who are over 60 and managing more than one condition, cranberry juice can actually make things worse. And I want to show you exactly why, with real research, not opinions. My name is Dr. Grace Wells. I've spent over 2 decades working with older adults on kidney and diabetes health. And today I'm going to walk you through the most common drink myths I see people repeat. Not because the internet told them, but because a well-meaning family member did, or a neighbor, or someone in a Facebook group who seemed very confident. Stay with me through this whole video, because I'm not just going to take things away from you. I'm going to give you 3 drinks that actually do support kidney function. And I'll explain the science behind each one. Let's start with cranberry. I want to be fair here. Cranberry has genuine benefits. There's real research on it. But the benefit is specific, and it is not what most people think it is. The research on cranberry, including a well-cited 2012 review published in the Archives of Internal Medicine, is mostly about urinary tract infections. Cranberry contains compounds called proanthocyanidins. These molecules can prevent certain bacteria from sticking to the walls of your bladder and urinary tract. That is a real, documented effect. But here's where it gets complicated. We are not talking about your kidneys. We are talking about your bladder and your lower urinary tract. Those are different organs. They have different needs. And when people hear urinary health, they assume that means kidney health. It does not. Your kidneys are filtering organs. They manage waste. They regulate fluid. They balance minerals in your blood. Cranberry juice does not cleanse them. It does not flush them. And it does not slow down kidney disease. Now, here is the part I need you to really pay attention to. Cranberry juice is high in oxalates. Oxalates are naturally occurring compounds found in many plant foods. In healthy people, your kidneys filter them out and excrete them through urine. But if your kidneys are already working at reduced capacity, if you have CKD at stage 2, 3, or beyond, those oxalates can accumulate. And accumulated oxalates bind with calcium. They form crystals. Kidney stones. A 2021 study in the Clinical Journal of the American Society of Nephrology found that high oxalate intake is one of the most significant modifiable risk factors for kidney stone formation, particularly in people who already have impaired kidney function. And the sugar content in commercial cranberry juice? That's a separate problem entirely. Most of what you find on a grocery store shelf is not even cranberry juice. It's cranberry cocktail, loaded with added sugar or high fructose corn syrup. For someone managing diabetes alongside kidney disease, that combination can accelerate kidney decline, not help it. Accelerate it. Now, I said I'd come back to the UTI question, and I want to be complete here, because this part matters. If you are dealing with recurrent urinary tract infections, cranberry is worth discussing with your doctor. The proanthocyanidins in cranberry tincture, particularly PAC A type, do have real evidence behind them. A 2016 Cochrane systematic review found modest but real benefit in women with recurrent UTIs. But notice what I said, recurrent UTIs, not kidney disease, and the form matters enormously. Cranberry extract supplements, standardized for PAC content, perform very differently from a bottle of cranberry cocktail with added sugar. If your doctor has reviewed your kidney function, your oxalate history, your stone history, and has cleared you for cranberry use for UTI prevention, that is a completely different conversation. But choosing a drink because the label says urinary health without that conversation first, that requires more thought than the label gives you. The second myth I want to address is apple cider vinegar. This one is all over social media. You've probably seen it. Drink 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar and water every morning and it will flush your kidneys. I understand why it sounds reasonable. Vinegar is acidic. People associate acidity with cutting through things, dissolving buildup. But let me tell you what is actually happening in your body. Your kidneys work incredibly hard to maintain what's called acid-base balance. They are constantly regulating how acidic or alkaline your blood is. When you regularly add apple cider vinegar, which is acetic acid, you are increasing the acid load your kidneys have to process. For a young person with fully functioning kidneys, this is manageable. Their kidneys adapt. But after 60, kidney function naturally declines even without disease. The kidneys process acid more slowly, less efficiently. So what feels like a detox to a 40-year-old blogger can feel like added strain to a 70-year-old with stage 3 CKD. There's also the potassium issue. Apple cider vinegar contains potassium. Not a massive amount, but it's there. And for anyone on a potassium-restricted diet, which is common in moderate to advanced kidney disease, adding daily potassium through drinks needs to be accounted for. Then there's your teeth. I know that sounds unrelated. But enamel erosion from acidic beverages is a real and underestimated problem in older adults. A study published in the British Dental Journal showed that consistent exposure to acetic acid significantly erodes enamel. Older adults already lose enamel with age. Many medications cause dry mouth, which reduces the saliva that would normally neutralize acid. So that tablespoon of apple cider vinegar every morning, it's not helping your kidneys, and it may be quietly damaging your teeth. I'm not saying apple cider vinegar is useless. In cooking, in salad dressings used occasionally, it's fine food. But as a daily kidney supplement, there is no peer-reviewed evidence that it does what people claim it does. The third myth is more nuanced, because this one is partly true. And that's exactly what makes it the most important to understand carefully. Sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, has been studied as a therapeutic intervention for kidney disease. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Society of Nephrology in 2009, led by Dr. Magdi Yacoub, showed that sodium bicarbonate supplementation slowed the progression of CKD in patients who had a specific condition called metabolic acidosis. Metabolic acidosis is when your blood becomes too acidic because your kidneys can no longer buffer it effectively. That is a real diagnosed condition. And in those specific patients, under medical supervision, sodium bicarbonate can genuinely help. But here is what is also true. Baking soda contains sodium. And in kidney disease, sodium is often one of the most critical things to restrict because your kidneys struggle to excrete it, which raises blood pressure, which then further damages the kidneys. Taking baking soda without knowing your current acid levels, without knowing your sodium tolerance, without a doctor monitoring your blood chemistry, is not a home remedy. I've seen patients come in who are doing baking soda cleanses every day because they read about it online. Their sodium levels were elevated. Their blood pressure was climbing. They thought they were helping themselves. Sodium bicarbonate can be a legitimate medical tool, but dissolving a teaspoon in water every morning because a video told you to, without a diagnosis, without blood work, without oversight, that is not medicine. And it is a real risk for people with kidney disease. Talk to your nephrologist about your bicarbonate levels. Let them look at your labs, then decide together whether this is something your body actually needs. Before I get to what actually works, I want to say something about the broader category of kidney detox drinks: celery juice, parsley water, dandelion tea, Chenka Piedra. These get presented constantly as miracle kidney cures. Here is what the science says. There is no clinical evidence that any of these drinks detox your kidneys in the way that term implies. Your kidneys do not accumulate toxins that need to be flushed out by a special drink. Your kidneys are the detox system. What most of these drinks produce is increased urine output, a diuretic effect. More urine can feel like flushing. It feels like something is happening. But for a person with declining kidney function, artificially increasing urine production without adequate hydration can actually concentrate the waste products your kidneys are trying to filter and cause more strain, not less. And many of these herbs, parsley, dandelion, certain medicinal teas, contain oxalates or interact with medications commonly taken by older adults. Warfarin is CE inhibitors. Diuretics, potassium-sparing medications. These interactions are not minor. They can affect how your medications work. When I say detox drinks, I don't mean their ingredients are poison. I mean the claim that they detox your kidneys is not supported by clinical evidence. And for people managing real kidney disease, acting on that claim instead of working with a physician costs something we can never get back: time. Kidney disease is a slow disease. It doesn't announce itself dramatically. By the time you feel it, it has often been progressing quietly for years. The decisions you make about what you drink every single day, they accumulate. Now, 3 drinks that actually do have evidence behind them. The first is water. I know, you expected something more interesting. But I need you to understand something, because most of my patients are either drinking too little or drinking too much. Both are problems. The old 8 glasses a day rule? I'm going to dedicate an entire video to that next week, because for people with CKD, it can be genuinely dangerous. Your fluid needs depend on your stage of kidney disease, your urine output, whether you have fluid retention, and what other conditions you're managing. The simple guidance I give most of my patients is, watch the color of your urine. Pale yellow, like lemonade, is your target. Not clear, not dark amber. Dark urine signals dehydration and increases the concentration of waste your kidneys have to filter. Clear urine, when produced in large volumes, can signal overhydration, which puts different strain on the kidneys. Pale yellow. Sip consistently through the day. Don't drink large amounts all at once. And avoid very cold water if you have blood pressure issues, as it can cause vascular responses that some older adults find uncomfortable. Consistent. Appropriate to your specific situation. The second drink is lemon water, and here's why this is different from the detox category. Lemons contain citrate. Citrate, specifically potassium citrate, is actually a prescription medication used to prevent kidney stones. It works by binding to calcium in urine, reducing the ability of calcium to crystallize with oxalates or phosphate. A study published in the Journal of Urology found that lemon juice significantly increased urinary citrate levels in people prone to calcium-based kidney stones. The amount of citrate in lemon juice is far lower than what's in prescription supplements. But for someone who wants a simple, low-risk drink with some supportive science behind it, fresh lemons squeezed into water once a day, this is genuinely one of the more reasonable things I can recommend. Not lemonade, not pre-packaged lemon drinks, fresh lemon, half a lemon in a glass of water. Check with your physician if you're on any medications that interact with citrate, and be aware that lemon can aggravate reflux if that's something you manage. But otherwise, low risk, evidence adjacent, and I feel good recommending it. The third drink is ginger tea, carefully, with limits, and I'll explain why. Ginger has well-documented anti-inflammatory properties. Chronic inflammation plays a significant role in the progression of kidney disease. Studies published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences have shown that gingerols, the active compounds in fresh ginger, can modulate inflammatory pathways. There's also evidence that ginger helps with nausea, which is a very common complaint in later stage CKD, as waste products build up. Now here is my caution: ginger can interact with blood thinners, particularly warfarin. If you're on anticoagulants, talk to your doctor before adding ginger regularly. Commercial ginger teas can contain added ingredients, sweeteners, or preservatives. Read the label. And limit yourself to 1 cup a day of mild ginger tea, brewed fresh or from a clean single ingredient tea bag with no additives. Don't steep it too long. Don't use concentrated ginger supplements without medical guidance. They have a very different effect than tea. 1 gentle cup, that's all I'm recommending. Not because more is dangerous for everyone, but because more is better is exactly the thinking that gets people into trouble with their kidneys. The fact that you're here, watching this, asking these questions, that is what actually protects your kidneys, not a drink. But the habit of understanding before acting, the habit of asking your doctor, looking at your labs, and not assuming that natural means safe for you specifically. If someone in your life is drinking cranberry juice every morning thinking it's doing something good for their kidneys, share this with them. Not because I'm asking you to do something for me, because they deserve to know what you now know. Next week, the 8 glasses of water rule. Why it exists, where it came from, and why following it blindly, if you have CKD, can actually be dangerous. I'll see you then.